is golf tees. It's a little noisy. So, what they're doing with the golf tee in styrofoam, they're making letters. And it's like practicing a tripod, pressure. His name was Lucky. His real name was Lucky. Like his real name out of the womb was Lucky. And this child in the gray was on an IEP and was having some learning disability issues and fully engaged and fully participating. And one of the things about our group is that we first kind of had groups that were disconnected from letters, and then we quickly learned you have to keep the literacy and letter theme going. So all of our sensory motor, well, maybe this is the only exception. This is Apple Man. So you make the accordion legs and arms. But check out the individual life. This gives you the ability. Here's our kids struggling. And so it's such a nice opportunity to give more individualized support, cueing. She could have worked with that kid in her OT clinic down the hall. But it's so much richer here. He has peer models, and there's this kind of support that you get just in being in a group. And then maybe not all the kids needed to do this. I will give you that. But the kids at risk are there's probably 2 or 3 that really are working on motor planning and did benefit from this. And it kept everyone engaged to be working together in this. They knew it was all about handwriting and the importance of that, and then had these opportunities to work on specific skills. And so the visual motor group was run by the specialist and worked more on visual motor activities like mazes or cutting. And then Nate ran the cognitive group, which is more about teaching, top-down model that we also use. So he would do word find activities, word wall. This is like, they had a laser, and he would say a word, and then the kids, not every kid had a laser, but they would share them. The kid had to find the word with the laser, and so they love that. It's really easy to engage a first grader. And when you're looking, they had to distinguish all the words to find the word that he wanted them to look for. And I'm just going to show this real quick. This is an intervention with using grade lines, and you're seeing the teacher implement it. So just, I thought I just click on it. Okay, I'll try one more time. It's very short. One more time this way. Oh, maybe it ended. Okay, he did it perfectly. I'm going to have to tell you that. He just was guiding the child in how to use. One, he made the decision to use the raised line paper for this particular activity, and then he showed the child how to do it. And really, it's so nice to have the teachers doing the kinds of interventions that we would introduce and think important for that particular child. Then the writing application the teacher took the lead on, and I just want to encourage you quickly, we're running out of time, to know the curriculum and know what to expect of the students, how the teacher is going to guide the students in this particular learning we did it with them. When they were writing the stories, we were there guiding. And, I don't know the first grade standards very well. And so we really had to lean on the teachers pretty hard to help us understand what each of the learning modules was all about as we linked handwriting to the writing curriculum. And so just real quickly, you can find for your schools online the curriculum and the standards that are expected. And so it's available information, and it's one thing as an OT to kind of look online and learn it, but you also really need to be partnering with your teacher to understand what the expectations are. And it's shocking. Look, by week 7 of first grade, students write stories with a beginning, middle, and end. Did you do that in first grade? I think that's pretty high. So it's important that it's authentic and that students understand why legibility is important as they learn to write. I am going to whiz through and maybe not even get through our findings. But we had laid the program out really carefully, and because the person who helped develop it, Terry, also implemented it. Her fidelity, do you know what fidelity is? Just accuracy in doing the intervention correctly. Something you're already invested in and will become more invested in as you become practitioners. But it was very high. We did interview the students, and they were like, I love handwriting. I love the turkeys. For some reason, we made turkeys with the popsicle sticks and the colors. It was a very popular activity. This is the writing samples each week. You can, the legibility that we just judged each letter as legible or not legible. And you can see they went up in legibility over time. This is the result of 2 classrooms. We ran, over 2 years, we ran 2 classrooms each year. What time is that? Do I need 5 minutes? Okay. Now, you've been wearing your practitioner hat, thinking about this intervention. You have to switch it with your researcher hat. Think about all those research courses that you took. And when I say ANOVA, you're just like, I don't expect you to hide in your seat. So this is the result of 8 classrooms where we had 2 control, where we did absolutely nothing in the program. But the children did have handwriting instruction from the teacher. And then 2 other classrooms over 2 years. So 135 kids. And then we ran it with just as we had designed it, twice a week. And the point of this slide is that we did make a mistake. We oriented even the control teachers to the fact that we were going to be looking at handwriting pre and post. So we had kind of gunner first grade teachers who I think upped the handwriting instruction in their class because they knew they were in a study and they knew that handwriting was going to be evaluated in their children. So the control classes, when we interviewed them at the end, they actually got 20 minutes a day of handwriting, which was more than what we did. So in this case, it's more like a comparison of one method to another method. We used the evaluation tool of children's handwriting, the ETCH, for lowercase, and we use the Woodcock-Johnson, which is an educational assessment of writing skill. And we were particularly interested in fluency, which is just the child can write automatically. He's ready to go. He's ready to really write as a writer and compose. And then we mostly did ANOVA with post-hoc analysis, and we did correct for having more than one test with Bonferroni correction. Okay, here's our hypothesis, and it was based on our review of the research, is that we were expecting a pre to post increase in legibility and handwriting skill. In terms of writing, we were thinking that writing may not improve more in the Right Start kids, But because handwriting is more automatic, that by the end of the year, so 6 months after the program ended, that fluency would be better in our children and maybe writing would be better, giving them that kind of bump start. Okay, so I don't think you want to look at these numbers very long, but you can see that both control and right start improves significantly. Pre to post, and this is just lowercase legibility, average, and speed. We were also interested in speed. So I think it's easier to look at it in terms of a graph. And so blue is the right start, and red are the control classrooms. And for whatever reason, not planned, the right start children were lower in the beginning, but you see that they are higher in the end, and that was a significant difference in legibility pre to post. Anytime the lines of your groups cross, you're going to pretty much see significance. In average legibility, which was taking the whole etch, which was everything, it's uppercase, just kind of mixed in everything, it was not significantly different. And then in speed, our students were significantly faster or gained more in terms of speed than the control group. So it's suggesting it's more automatic. And then pre to post in the writing tests, you can, when you look at these graphs, it kind of looks the same. There was almost a difference, but not quite significant, in writing samples. And writing samples was kind of the beginning of composition, where they were asked to fill in some words in a sentence. One of the things, the caveats of our program, is we were working in a suburban Columbus school that was pretty much upper class. So all of the students were like really smart and gunners, and not all of them, but many of them were. And that was probably the biggest fault of the study, is that we should have had more of a mixed sample, or, certainly we weren't working with the kinds of kids that the handwriting group has been working with. This was at time of follow-up, and basically what happened is that there were still significant differences, particularly in lowercase legibility for the Right Start group. And then the thing that we hypothesized really did happen for fluency. So, and this is just how much you write. And so what you ask is the children see 3 pictures, or see a picture and have 3 words, and then they have to put the 3 words into a sentence about that picture. So it's really quick, and they are literally writing sentences as fast as they can. And that big of difference, even though you go, well, 7 to 9, but that is 2 sentences that the Right Start kids wrote more than the control kids, and that actually is quite a lot. And it was a significant difference, and I think it was a meaningful difference for fluency for our Right Start kids. And then I'm just going to real quickly show you, I have to explain what it is. Here is the heart of what we did, which is what we were really trying to do, as I said at the beginning, is capture the kids at risk and the kids who were pretty much failing with handwriting. We knew that there's going to be kids that didn't even need the program because they're mostly, and I'm not discriminating against the men in this classroom, the little girls who are perfectionists, and they have the little dresses. Okay, I'm really being sexist now. I should just stop right there. But for the most part, the really good handwriters tended to be women, at least in first grade. Now, does that change? Paula, does that switch? That little girls tend to be better in handwriting than little boys, but then I think it changes. They just care more. Boys have other things to do. But we're OTs. We're there for the struggling students. So what we wanted to know really was, did the kids at the bottom, in the beginning, with the really struggling with handwriting at the beginning of the year, did they make gains in our program? So we split them up, and we did the